playing for his jungle, for his gold, for his experience lead, and not necessarily unlocking this Twisted Fate to roam around the map unless it's to help out Ben. But like you said, Ben is usually literally left on an island, and it is going to be that set mid.
So we'll keep our eye on top lane briefly, checking in on the CS discrepancy, checking in on any solo kill potential, but otherwise don't expect us to head up there very often. Ben putting on an island and Impact being put on Malphite means we aren't going to expect a lot there early on. That said, Jensen now busting out the set mid. This is a pick that I have loved to see for what it allows you to do in the mid lane, stealing mid lane prio from so many champions early on before being that utility bot for greater damage sources elsewhere. We're going to have to see how Jensen can pilot into this matchup against Angel.
It's also just really hard to punish this. You already talked about, how he's able to get priority in a lot of different matchups. Usually when you have a Lilia, you need to create space for her to power farm through her jungle, and wow, we dropped in real hot into this one, Dracos.
Absolutely did. Now, of course, if you are just joining us, Suning at 3-1 currently, a single win will, of course, guarantee them a spot making through. TL looking to crawl it back, push themselves up to 3-3, hope for Suning to lose to G2 later and force a tiebreaker. It is a long shot, but it is still possible for Team Liquid. A loss here guarantees they walk away with nothing, everything on the line for TL.
Now, already in the early game, we want to talk about the setup. It's traditional that with a Lilia, you would have a delay invade onto the Raptor camp. We've seen it done over and over, and teams are starting to get creative about the counters that they'll have. So TL already holding hands, grouping up in this pixel brush. And you would imagine that Suning, knowing that this is going to happen, because it's happened all tournament long, should have some type of answer here as TL walking in.
But I like it. They look at the situation, they see Bard level 1, they see Lilia level 1, and they're going to wait. They want to bait them in a little bit further. Gold card now coming in. Brock's going to be in trouble. So SOFM getting a decent amount of damage down, but the battle for the Raptors, and the big one will go to SOFM. Big damage, though, down onto Hongfong as he's going to run for his life. Brock's now trying to chase him. Extra movement speed. Hard to get away from that Lilia, and it's not going to happen. That's first blood for Jensen. TL finding the level 1 advantage in the end. SOFM happy with the trade for experience. If he takes this red buff, though, it's disastrous. Still, though, Jensen's going to walk forward. SOFM getting just a little bit greasy. Phase rush Brock zooming in and out, trying to find a way back into this one. Gold card going down. Who's going to get it? Brock's is still level 1. It's ticking. Broxy gets it, that's level 2 now coming in, but it's Tom Catch on the backside, and it's absolute chaos. TL fighting with everything they have. It's back and forth. Another gold card. Sword Art walking forward. Hongfong back on the way in. TL, they've bitten off more than they can chew, and they're getting run down. They need to make it out as fast as they can. Run for the hills, TL. You bet it all on this level 1. Do not give it up here. Flash forward. The red card committed. Jensen now in trouble. No one is laning because the lanes do not matter. The level 1, the longest one we've seen this tournament, but TL walking out of the jungle alive. 3-1 the kill score. They make it work.
Yeah, Angel grabbing the red card right there, maybe thinking that his damage was enough to also with the slow to allow Senna to catch up as opposed to grabbing the gold card, or maybe it was just a mistake. We'd have to look at the footage again. Now, everyone take a breath. I know North American fans are probably, a little bit on the edge after that one. Ultimately, though, I think good things for TL fans. You're going to slow down SOFM pretty considerably, despite the fact that he also got the Raptors. Him dying, he's immediately now on the blue side of his jungle, while Ben is trying to get this bounce of the wave off of Impact's top lane tower. And Broxa got to go back. He's got 3 assists to his names, and the jungle should go back to power farming.
The big things, of course, that are going to make this difficult, we check in on both sides. Broxa feels okay because he did manage to secure that red buff. It cost them a lot to do so, but in the meantime...
I think the issue is that Sword Art got the red buff and then died.
Yes. That's going to be a problem, too. And the other thing that's really difficult about this is that because of this, Jensen early on, normally you can expect Set to kind of cheat the push by getting the W early, but of course JJ has the red buff. Oh, no.
He's got the red buff on Bard, too. He's going to be slapping him with the meeps. Yeah. Hongfong and Sword Art do not want to stay in this lane phase. Yeah. This is all about, okay, shove it forward, ward in, and I think they're pulling the blue buff for SOFM.
In about 3 minutes, everything will return to normal, but for now, there are a lot of early CS discrepancies and XP differences across the lanes. It's going to be a lot to keep track of, but ultimately, because no side has gotten a greater advantage quite yet, only 400 gold in the favor of TL, it may not amount to too much, especially as SOFM is going to grab his second blue buff. Or JJ, though, walking down, looking to contest this one. Good stun onto the wall, good follow-up. Sadly, Sword Art, a little bit too tanky to be taken out that easily. The smite battle is going to come in, but SOFM would rather have the champion chasing forward. Angel over the wall, and SOFM will grab that. Level 4 now for the Graves. 2-camp advantage to SOFM, even after that early game.
And this is kind of one of the biggest differences that I think we've seen between the LPL, the LCK teams, and LCS and LEC. More so for G2, I think, but it's, playing for your jungler versus your jungler playing for you. The priority of bot lane, even the contested push in the mid wave, you can see that Jensen and Angel were actually fighting each other as they were walking towards the jungle. Everything was there for SOFM. His laners dropped everything they had to make sure that he could get that steal off. And now Broxa,
big,
possibly looking at Ben.
Brock's already behind in terms of camps overall. If this does not net a kill, if he's not able to get something here, it is going to cost them dearly. If they're flashing forward, they're looking to secure it, and that is going to be one take it back. Broxa finding the kill onto Ben is huge.
And you can see what Ben was thinking. He just saw that Broxa was on the bottom side of the map. He thought he had enough time to hard shove that wave to get it to bounce to him, but Broxa creatively immediately goes top side and does find a gank. And like you said, he really needed that one to pay off.
Jensen now bowling forward, and this is the glory of set mid. If you haven't experienced it quite yet, he tanks your damage, and then when you hit him, he uses a big fat W on you in the wave and pushes you under tower. So this priority in the mid lane is actually very big for TL, and it's very big for Broxa. And after that kill in the top lane as well, things are not looking too bad for North America right now. It's going to take this win, and it's going to take a one to follow, as well as some favorable results later in the day. But TL are certainly not out yet, and with a start like this, maybe there is hope for North America.
But there's also, you know, what do you play for now, or what do you have set up for your map, since you're still missing a lot of key summoners. Broxa, I still feel like on the Lilia should be playing for his camps, and again, it's playing around the priority that his laners create for him. You can see Tactical and Core JJ down here have push. You can see that usually Jensen was having push into his lane, but Broxa should just be trying to burn his Krug and Raptor camps as much as possible. And SOFM loves Raptors. He will try to fight you on them every single time. You even saw him sniffing around Brox's Raptor camp just there.
Yeah, and this is brutal. Of course, the second SOFM has any kind of pressure, he's immediately in your jungle, immediately taking camps away from you. This man is insane. At 15 minutes, more than a 30 CS advantage in jungle. He has the single highest CS discrepancy at 15 of any player at Worlds coming into the day as a jungler. But this time around, Broxa has been fortunate. He's been able to keep up. He's able to find that kill on the top side. Could look to go top again soon, as Malphite level 6 certainly makes the setup easier for both of these champions.
And I feel like that's kind of one of the big areas that he does have to play through. Sofam, though, now pulling Angel. Let's see if Broxa can get away with the chickens.
The
Sofam's,
battle of raptors.
He's a chicken enthusiast.
He just, it's not his, it's the best meat. It's everybody's favorite.
Listen, KFC is huge in Shanghai.
It's big everywhere.
That's the boneless one,
universal.
it's that nice stuff.
All the fast food companies are jealous of how popular KFC is. But now, Frostguard, as we check in across the map, you see a CS discrepancy on top side, kind of as expected. Good news for Impact is because he's able to just stack armor early on, Jace doesn't really get to rush the lethality route and try to burst his teammates, instead of being forced to go into the Hex Drinker just to be able to survive the coming gang threat. But Angel, Penton now moving down, the gate now coming out, Broxa stunned up, a lot of damage here. Lilia still very squishy, needs to make it out to safety, trying to flash over the wall, but will not happen. Cannot get close enough and does get taken down.
TL a little bit caught with their pants down right there. They were shifting Core JJ mid, just trying to scout. Then the Destiny comes in, gets underneath, and finds Broxa. There's so much skirmishing all the time. You can already see the discrepancy there for Sofam. He now has access to level 6, and with the enemy jungler dead, it's going to be a pretty easy rotation onto the Cloud Dragon. It's not immediately panic zone for TL fans, because it's not like their composition really relies on a Dragon stack versus, I think, Suning's comp, but it's not great.
Yeah. And of course, we did talk a little bit about weathering the storm of the Jace a lot in the early game of a lot of these aggressive laners. And it's a difficult road, I think, for TL, not just, of course, in the game results, but also in the match today. And while things overall don't look too bad, a lot of these CS discrepancies could start to get out of control. 80 to 53, a play going to get picked up here. Broxa being forced to just catch some of this CS. Ben backing off and giving him respect, not because of the threat that he represents, but Impact returning to lane, obviously with that sleep, could result in a very quickly dead Jace.
It's also that he knows that Impact doesn't have TP, so he's being denied plate as well as a lot of gold. Impact's falling farther and farther behind in this matchup. Like you talked about, though, kind of the nice thing that it's double AD for topside for Suning, Jace, and Graves. So he's stacking armor. He's doing his exact job, which is to not die and press R in a key moment. And that key moment might be the Herald. We actually saw that TL were bringing their bot side top initially or down the mid lane, while Core JJ is now returning to the bot side. And it was because they were thinking about contesting for Herald here, but now it's been cleared out. Suning are interesting. They usually have pretty delayed monster objectives, because it's all about, you know, making sure it's perfect around SOFM's clear and farm path. And he's on the bottom side of the jungle right now, and I think he's eating up all of the camps. He'll probably do it after he passes blue buff around.
Yeah, SOFM in maximum Hoover mode right now.
Oh no, he's going back for Cross.
It's a PvE game. This man is not interested in anything else.
He's like, listen, team, the Herald can wait. You guys just make sure that they don't get it. I've got to do Krug camp. I need to reset, walk top. Then we can think about that.
He's like, look, I get if we win this game, that we get through. I understand. But if you consider that I have numbers to maintain, that I have a reputation to maintain, this man is the mad scientist of the jungle, Frost. If he's not power farming at all times, what is he doing? Is he even SOFM?
No, he's not. But he does have massive priority as we take another peek into the top side for Ben. Going the tier routes, he's going to constantly have a lot of mana to chip away at people from afar, and then also pivoting into the Hex Drinker. So shouldn't be any sort of burst or threat from him in the top side.
Yeah, and of course we talked about the top side for Suning being double AD, but the top side of TL is double magic damage. Malphite having a bit of a split profile between the autos and the W, but everything else outside of that, all of the burst at least, will be magic damage. So pretty easy to grab that Hex Drinker.
Listen. Junglers in solo queue. If Sofum gives away his blue buff to his mid laner, you can do the same.
This man, the flawless CS numbers, can do it. That's wholesome. Trying to teach the people a lesson.
This is actually big. So Broxah has revealed himself on the bot side of the map by throwing the Swirl Seed down there. And again, there's so much priority from Ben top side. SOFM should have a free reign if he wants to go for that Herald. And you can see the immediately pivot from TL, where there's the on-the-way pings towards Herald. So TL recognizing that they gave a free pass for Sofum to start Herald if he wanted to. And now they're sprinting across map to make sure that he doesn't get the objective.
In the meantime, Sofum not interested in the Herald. Instead, interested in either Broxah and or these Krugs. It'll be a little bit more clear.
He's trying to catch Broxah as he comes around.
Oh, there's Stone Cam.
Destiny, look at Angel. He's waiting in Fog of War, looking to Destiny in.
Smoke screen going down. Impact ulting in, but it's not going to amount to anything. Now going to be sleepy, though. They're going to be in trouble. Jensen debating on his options. He's going to dunk him back down. They're going to try to find the 2v1 on Angel. He goes golden. He tries to buy a little bit of time. That's SOFM now stepping forward. That's going to be massive. Big haymaker, but can't connect on the true damage. That's the shot on the backside. Collateral damage will not find anyone. But here comes KaiSser. He can set it up. He can make the play. He can find the ult, but he only manages to hit one. Angel simply next on the list. Now the ultimate coming in for the Jhin. That's the curtain call. Suning 1, 2. He's looking to make it 3. That's the finish out. TL, what a turn.
And the big difference maker was the fact that Tactical made his way across map. Check on the mini-map right now. Hongfeng is still in the bot lane on that Senna, very slow to push the wave back. So while Tactical gets to shove the wave forward and make the rotation and get the kills, Senna doesn't even get a plate. She just pushes it into tower.
Yeah, we saw whose ult was more valuable in that fight, and this is massive because the last time these two teams played, TL's bot lane didn't get to do anything. This time around, it's all Tactical for JJ for the turn.
And the big thing was, I thought it might be disaster because I didn't see it, but Impact, I think, used his ultimate right at the beginning of the fight or didn't have it for the big part of the fight. At this point, you're like, okay, it's looking pretty bad. But on your mini-map, Jhin and KaiSser are racing here, and Tahm Kench is nowhere near his team. SOFM, do want to give credit, plays this out really well against Broxah, but then boom, right into the double curtain call.
That's 4 for 4. That's the kind of accuracy you need if you're going to pull out a win here against Suning, and this is looking good for TL. They were starting to fall away in gold. CS differences were starting to add up and stack up against them, but now they've evened things up again, and they've set their sights on this Herald.
And they do have a window to do the Herald. You can see that Sofum has passed towards the bottom side of his map since his camps are up. You can see the pings onto the jungle, or onto the dragon. It should be obvious that TL are on Herald even before it goes down. As I say that though, Sofum, I love him. He's heading to Wolves.
Man with a mission. Right now that mission is farming. But TL going to be happy with this one. They need to place this Herald almost immediately if they want to get any plates from it at all. They could just run top and try to get something, or mid, but Broxah maybe not thinking about that as he's instead going to clear out the Scuttle Crab. Really, guys, you gotta, if you want the money, you gotta place the thing now.
Yeah, I think you use it mid if you want to try to get more control over the Dragon Pit, and SOFM pathing for Wolves actually may cost his team Dragon. Now, you can see that he's sprinted now back towards the Dragon Pit, and he's very quickly trying to take this, but if TL were really on the clock, they could actually walk down and dissuade him from doing it, but instead, they're focused with this mid lane tower. Like you said, they need to place the Herald there if they wanted to get any sort of use of the plates. They do manage to do that, and they trade Ocean. But there was a world there where TL could have gotten both Herald and the Ocean Dragon.
Yeah, but regardless, TL's still doing pretty well, all things considered. Of course, you're looking at the double dragons on the opposite side, and the gold advantage, the CS discrepancy rather, on the top side of the map is going to be problematic, as Impact will probably continue to struggle. Of course, for now, though, Jace no armor pen means that he can at least tank up a little bit of this as he keeps forcing waves in.
But, you know, it's the importance of what do TL get by trading damage on the mid tower versus giving up the Ocean Dragon, especially since it's only second Ocean, and it's changing up their lane assignments. And you can already see this as they're walking back towards the map. The fact that KaiSser and Tactical are now taking route up into the mid lane, and Set is now on the bottom side of the map. And They can slowly whittle down this tower, but it also gives Core JJ now the entire map of where he wants to swing out and try to skirmish. So I like it. Tower now falls over. That's going to be a nice chunk of gold into Tactical's back pocket, and Core JJ should be unleashed on this map to start teaming up with Broxa and being that ganker that they need since they have a Lilia as the jungle.
Yeah, now 1.5k gold lead, Tactical 3-0-3. This is the man we have to keep our eyes on because he's performing marvelously. Now the setup on the Sword Art, maybe not the ideal priority target, as the delayed snare will come out. Sword Art will just walk away, but still fishing here from the side of TL. Interesting, though, as we check in, double lethality items now coming in. SOFM and Huangfang clearly both focused on killing, well, the Lilia in the chin, because it's a set and a Malphite. So obviously they're not worried about hitting frontline at this point. They're much more focused on keeping maybe the 1-3-1 alive and killing the backline of TL before they have to worry about something like the Malphite in the set. But that will make team fights even more difficult as we push later into the game.
But now it's about talking about what the team's options are on this current map state. So obviously for Suning, their real playmaker is going to be anytime they have the Destiny. Because that mid tower is down and Senna doesn't push waves very fast, you would expect that TL, as we can see on the map right now, will always have mid priority, will have mid priority more often than not, unless Suning really put multiple members to contest that wave, which means that TL should actually be first to rotation on a lot of these skirmishes in the side map. So what I'm looking for TL is, again, Core JJ in particular on this bar, to push down mid, and with that extra room, then start swinging out either bottom or top side and finding picks to start pushing down more towers while we wait for Mountain Dragon and Baron.
And while walking into enemy jungle to secure a little bit of vision certainly isn't the flashiest play, it is exactly what you're asking for. Securing mid prio, walking and getting a division now, but now we have the double play in the mid lane. Cleanse now coming out from Tactical. Is going to be able to back away on that one. SOFM, though, chasing down this kill. Core JJ on the hunt. SOFM could be in trouble here as Brox is now walking in as well. Tactical on a rampage. And again, Suning overplay their hand in the mid lane with these semi-globals.
Yeah, absolutely a whoopsie there, trying to hard force into the mid lane. And now, TL just get to walk this one down mid, as maybe Impact's overextended. Ben's on the other side of him.
Ult out. It's going to be in trouble here, but it's slowly chipped away at here. The true damage, the extra magic damage, and they will find that one. Means top lane tower will be in trouble and will in the end fall in favor of Suning. So Suning biting back.
Yeah, and kind of the one option that Suning do have at this point, while they're waiting for Destiny to constantly be back up, as well as the Abyssal Voyage, is to just shadow behind Ben and allow him to continue to exploit the top lane. So TL recognize that there's probably nothing they can really do against this Jace unless they're throwing multiple members at him to try to slow him down, especially at this point of his itemization. Although, as I say that, he actually needs to take it back. I was expecting him to have the Muramana by now. I looked down, he's like, pickaxe tier Hex Drinker.
Fast charge as far as champions are concerned. Probably not as fast as the full-on Muramana. And Jensen going to one-shot the wave here and walk away. And of course, in the previous fight, I said Cleanse. It's actually the Mikhails coming in for Core JJ, and this itemization is smart and it's very clutch because you look at the options on the side of Suning to actually get a fight kicked off with hard CC, and they are very limited. It is delayed snare from Huangfang, and it is the gold card coming in from Angel. So for Tactical right now, as a man with 2 items and Swifty boots, he might go untouched in these mid to late game fights unless the Graves or Jace are finding a flank.
Yeah, it feels like Suning's composition really thrives in trying to hit you in your setup for objectives, because like you're saying, it doesn't have the same traditional power as a true 5v5 competition, especially not when you compare it to TL's comp, which is really about zone control and creating space for Lilia and Tactical to run away with fights. So Dragon is spawning in 36 seconds. The good news for Suning fans is that they can afford to give this one up if they don't want to fight it or they don't get a pick before then, since TL didn't get the early Dragon stacking. And I expect that's what Suning should do, is just wave the white flag, say, okay, TL, you got it. You can have the Mountain Dragon, and then trade that for farm on some of their necessary carries, because Suning are still looking for bigger item breakpoints on their Jace and their Graves before they feel confident to walk into these 5v5s. But as I say that, it is Suning, so...
Yeah, and that's the thing. And we already talked about it already. Suning much better setup for the side lanes, but now that they've fallen behind or haven't really gotten far enough ahead, let's say, in some of those side lanes, it's certainly going to be difficult to possess a lot of these individual advantages. You can see, despite the fact that Jensen is being matched up against Angel, he has no MR. He is worried about the 80 threats on this opposite side of the team. There is 3 of them, so not concerned about magic resistance for now. Presumably the plan is blow up the TF and be immune to damage from everyone else, as TL will grab this dragon uncontested, denying soul point from the side of Suning.
Yep, there we go. And now TL have the option that they can play to contest the mid wave and then probably move into a Herald. The second Herald, if they can get it, probably not though. They'd have to like rush it right now and try to burn it down. It's gonna say try to get second Herald before the Baron spawns.
I think you have till 1945, so not gonna try for that one. A little bit too much of a speed run.
Oh! Maybe they go on Baron as soon as it spawns, or they just try to bird it?
I mean, they have the Lilia. She hasn't finished Leandry's yet, though. But this would be...
They're trying.
Here we go. It's a race. Does Baron eat the Herald? I think you have extra time if you've actually started it. We'll see, though. Nope, you don't. There you go. We're learning together. I just stopped trying at 19 minutes.
It's
I didn't
not
even
your
know people
fault,
tried
Dracos.
anymore.
TL didn't know either, so...
Why not go for it?
Okay, now we're going to play a pick off of topside. TL have numbers advantage on topside. They also have the hard engage of Bard. Sofum should know that they're up here. You can see that Huangfeng and Sordar are also making their way here. So Suning, again, their game plan, slow down TL. Match them. Deny them from continuing to accelerate the game and play around monster objectives. So Suning, in between these dragon spawns, just want to be eating as much farm as possible and then looking for plays with Destiny. TL really need to put their foot onto the gas. Yes, they also still have decent scaling on their composition, so don't walk into any sort of bad fights, but can continue to use their mid priority to chip away at structures when they threaten dives like this.
Bin could be in trouble here. Obviously has the MR and the Hexdrinker, but no armor to stop Tactical from raining hell on him. SOFM now backing off. Shock blast over the wall, though, is pretty big. Brox is still relatively squishy, but you can see Destiny just be forced out defensively, just to kind of threaten, just to kind of warn TL to back off. But this systematic push forward of vision from TL is going to make it so hard for Suning to play the game, because they have the Swirl Seed, they have the Bard Tempered Fate, they have the Binding as well. And if they can throw out some of these skills from Darkness and catch one member out, Suning either have to commit those globals to match, or get someone picked off and risk losing the Baron. Yeah,
and I don't necessarily blame TL for playing this one quite tempered. Again, everything is on the line for them. This would be the end of their 2020 season if they lose this game. And the composition does have those scaling options. So unless the fight is 100% perfect, you know, they weren't going to risk it all on a dive to flip this game potentially back for Suning.
No reason to do so. I think definitely a difficult game for Suning, though, to find good avenues, to find good fights. Especially as Core JJ just continues to stick in the general area of Tactical at all times, knowing that Michaelis is a matter of life and death. Core JJ consistently just waiting in the darkness, fishing for plays. It's cool to see Team Liquid adapt after the last time that these two teams played. We've talked about it before, we'll talk about it again, but the Twitch for Khan being so completely and utterly shut down this time, putting more bans forward, setting their bot lane up for success with this Jhin Bard combo, and obviously paying off very well.
Yeah, so current plays right now on the map for Suning, you can see that Sofum was shadowing Angel down there to push the wave far forward, but this is kind of the rinse and repeat that I expect to see. And again, it's TL's ability to contest on wave, because they have things like the Jhin ultimate and the Bard ultimate that when you come to the wave, that they can try to snap grab you and kill you when you push it back. And also the fact that Senna pushes slower than Jhin does. So it's going to take a lot longer for Huangfeng to push the wave back when Tactical shoves it into him, which allows exactly this, the fact that TL will always be able to pivot first off of mid-wave, and they get numbers advantage on either side map to threaten dives and slowly chip away at these side structures. TL playing this one very much by the book and how they're cracking their outer structures.
Very clean performance from TL, and I feel like we're finally getting glimpses of the TL that we saw in plans, where it is clean, it is controlled, it is very tactical, and in this case, tactical focused as well. But we check in on the gold. It doesn't look like a massive discrepancy. 1,200 doesn't feel like the biggest deal, but you check the itemization, and again, have to point out the sheer amount of lethality, while very good for killing Tactical, while pretty good for killing Broxa, although slowly getting works, is terrible against the Malphite, is against the set. So Suning, still well equipped for 1v1s if they can find them, but not against the top and mid of Team Liquid. This is a difficult game for Suning to play out. I feel like they've put themselves in a little bit of a hole here.
Yeah, they're basically forced onto their side of the map, because even if you, maybe in an extended fight, can walk down the Malphite, Set and Malphite just have so many tools to either match the push onto the side lanes or at least survive it and kind of distract people and then walk away from fights. Suning would have to commit multiple resources, TPs, as well as Destiny, to either the mid side of the map, the top side of the map. They have to find, like, basically throw everything in the kitchen sink to break one side, or continue to, like, wait out and try to find picks on mistakes for TL. Right now, TL full control in this game. The only issue is kind of the win condition that they need to close it, which is either catch Sofum and turn it into a Baron, or stack a bunch of dragons. And this is what I was talking about. You know, you give Ben time, he can whittle down Impact, but Impact has Flash and Ultimate, and as soon as he feels scared, he's just going to walk away from the fight, and there's not a lot Ben can do unless someone else joins him.
No. And the good news is he can keep pressure in the 1v1 for now. Obviously, it's harder as more of these items come in, but a Black Cleaver or a Last Whisper will make the fight easier. And now that he has the fully stacked Coral Mana, does a significant amount of damage using that Hyper in those trades, Hypercharge rather. TL, though, trying to secure what vision they can. Suning have mid push, have top push, and this is giving them access to the top side jungle of TL for the first time in what feels like a long time. They now try to catch out Jensen here. Big damage coming in, but of course with the
Deep
Haymaker
teleport
available.
Look at Impact. He's going way behind.
Curtain call to kick things off. That ult is going to be massive. They managed to hit the Jace. Now he's next up. Oh, the beefy boys just pounded down. Ben ain't got nothing left. Haymaker across him, and TL now pushing in. Clutch off of CoreJJ. He doesn't want to follow up quite yet. Gold card going to come in. Are they going to be able to pick him off? Broxa going out, but the Sleepy goes down on the Tahm Kench. They surely should find a follow-up kill, but the QSS from Tahm Kench is going to take him out to safety. Ult into the backside, but they simply cannot find a target. TL will not give any room to Suning to play this fight. They keep all 5 standing.
And this might be the break that TL were looking for. We'll see how bold they are to pull the trigger on the Baron. Sofum is, of course, still alive, has access to Flash as well as Smite. There is no Destiny longer available for Angel, so it'll be much harder to kind of get information about what's happening here.
2K. SOFM can start to step forward. We'll one-shot the trap as it comes out. Jensen, ulti available, can't just suplex SOFM right out of the pit. Has to be able to see him, though. They're waiting, they're buying time. Walking away, though, unstoppable now. SOFM taken away. They've decided this is the time to burn it. Are they going to get it? Can they secure it? TL, there's no one to stop you. They will secure the Baron. And now Angel's in trouble. The flash forward. CoreJJ getting the slowdown. Huang Fong next on the list. Angel could be there to follow with Ben on the backside. A massive shockwave. Will it be enough? He has to find the clutch targets. The Edge of Night is gone. Impact has slain Angel. It is Jace versus the world. SOFM now chasing down Jensen, though, desperate to find this kill. CoreJJ coming over the wall. Are they walking hands first into SOFM, or can they turn this one? Big damage coming in for the Graves, but not enough onto the likes of Jensen. Simply too tanky, and Suning Gaming, they'll run Team Liquid out of town, but the Baron buff is already theirs, and not a lot left as Impact comes in. Clutch, big haymaker to close it out. CoreJJ to follow, and Suning double down on a losing play and come up even further behind. Sword Art, nothing there for him. Ben wants to go. This is his montage moment. He finds one. Can he turn 2? No, it does not look like it. The tanks are there for Team Liquid, and they're holding on to hope.
Not today, Satan North America says. They will not go down without a fight. They will not go quietly into the night right there. That fight was so long that Malphite got 2 ultimates off.
And that's what you want to see. Lord Dominic's finally comes in for Jace, but it feels like it's too little too late. Impact with the flank off to the side, and nobody on the side of Suning can find the flanks they need to hit Tactical, to hit Broxa.
Yeah, and again, it's 2 Malphite ultimates. It starts with that one and then the one on the very back half. I do want to give a lot of credit to Jensen and TL's Baron setup in particular. I think the suplex on the set was super important because Broxa didn't have Smite when they were in the pit. But still, the boldness of the call to say, we have this game, we're in control, execute on the Baron, and then knowing exactly what cooldown they needed. So props to Jensen and props to 2L, who are now, I mean, they've basically been in control this entire game, but firmly putting their foot on the gas and looking at the world and say, we're still in this one.
Here's the thing, Frostgrove, when we talked about this backstage, we said, how do you beat Suning? We said, you have to match them early. You have to pass the skill check early game or you're done. But if you get late game, this is where Suning start to fumble because yes, Sword Art is a veteran. Yes, SOFM is a veteran. But they have to rally the rookies around them to keep it together, to keep it tempered in a game where TL are in total control here. Huang forcing the flash out. Minions now collapsing. They start to break inhibitors. That's when the game truly feels like it's going to start to end. Jensen, blinded for now, has to back off. Suning seeming to hold on to their base for now, but the tower's getting chipped away at. That's going to be it. SOFM going over the wall, though, very greedy. Now the fallout from Tactical. One big shot, but Tactical's caught himself in the middle of the entire team, and they're taking him down. Tactical overstays his welcome. Too greedy for the kill on the Graves, and maybe that turns the fight, but Angel getting chipped away at. Team Liquid will not let his sacrifice be in vain, and they'll find it back.
Okay, TL still much in control. Ben has moved down from the top side, but he's going to be very delayed to this fight here. Maybe he can get a big shock blast, but I think TL got exactly what they came for. Can we talk about how Angel just messiahed into the backline without Hourglass?
Yes. Is that... Do you think Angel wants us to talk about that?
I don't know, I got the kill.
Yeah, it works out. And
oh, that was wild.
I mean, and inches away from being disaster for either side, really, as Tactical gives his life trying to land that 4-shot on SOFM, who just barely manages to make it out. 0-4-4 for SOFM. He still has that healthy CS lead that he's known for, but definitely not the highlight game he was hoping to have up against TL, whereas Broxa, through the support of his teams, has been rampaging across these fights. Utility, additional burn damage. Well, when you got two beefy frontliners in front of you, it feels pretty easy to play Bambi out in this game.
Yeah, and I think Sunny really have to kind of go back to the drawing board in terms of draft. Now, while TL also had a huge factor in that in terms of their execution in the early game, Sofum, you know, gave away some objectives. You know, maybe if they had contested a little bit more, given a little bit more attention to Bin, this might be a different game. But like you said, TL got to survive the lane phase. They created good opportunities for Broxa and really cracked the game open over that Baron play.
He's going for a second lethality item. They have triple mountain Proskeren. He has Lord Dominic, so obviously it's going to be great. Regardless, it makes me, it's so difficult.
Okay, triple mountain, push onto the bot lane. Big things to notice. Impact does have teleport, so he can join his team. It looks like some rage pushing here from Angel. I joke, he's got Destiny, he can join the team, and they're just trying to trade back and slow down TL's assault, but it is quite funny to look at.
Yeah, keeping an eye on the summoner spells as well, though. Tactical, no flash, core JJ Jensen as well. Broxa has his, but not a whole lot else. Wongfang continuing to step forward, continuing to poke from a distance. So if I'm taking a big chunk back there in response, and while the Jhin is very good at sieging, and the Bard's certainly good at supporting him, the rest of the members of this team, unless they're going for full-on dive, don't have a lot in terms of tower threat.
I like how Impact is just chasing Angel around and then just trying to deny him from pressuring towers. Now Angel is resetting his position, so this is the window where if Suning want to go, they go now.
Bardal is not going to connect, but Jensen's still in the midst of the entire team. The suplex back down into the backside, but there goes Impact. He finds two. Those are the key carries. Angel, the only one standing. Can they pull this away? Bin now running for his life. Destiny coming out, but it looks like it's Suning's destiny to fall to Team Liquid. It's the curtain call. It's coming out. It's looking to close it out as well, as Jensen is unkillable. Turning it back, the Haymaker not quite available on the edge of the health bar, but he will not go down, and still 5 members of TL stand strong. 40 seconds to the Baron, but they might not even need it to end this game.
Bin has teleported into the backline. He's going to be coming up behind TL. He might just immediately delete Broxa here.
Stepping forward, final moments of the game. This one is clutch. Bin, as you said, on the backside. Big shockwave, the flash out. Bin needs to find this one, but the tools are there to protect Tactical. Jensen stepping forward. Haymaker going to buy him a bit of time, but TL backing off. They don't want to throw everything away on this one. But then he goes. That's going to be it. The Malphite ult already back up. Bin is down. Angel simply next. TL baiting them into a false sense of security. Angel goes golden, but now he'll go down. Hwanfang next on the list, and that's going to be it. The Tom catch down. SOFM, one man and a shotgun versus the world. TL closes this one out. Total control here in the mid game. Should be able to walk in. Hwanfang and SOFM simply not strong enough to stop this. The tank ult cooldowns are simply too low. Big damage coming in. And North America, if you're not awake now, it's time to wake up. Can you feel it? The Team Liquid Miracle Run dream is alive and well. One more win and Suning falling to G2 when TL will find the tiebreaker to start to land, they start to not do anything because Tactical gets McHale's out and starts turning fights instantly.
I'm gonna be honest, Dracos, I was getting bored of World. I was like, no, it's too set in stone, there's nothing wild happening, and then TL just threw a wrench into everything, because now the standings can be a mess, the Miracle Run is alive, can Suning try to pull this one back, and this is exactly what I wanted if we were gonna cast Worlds.
You love to see it. Well, TL's Mercedes drive to victory is gonna be the top lane fight 12 minutes in, and no surprise to see this one on the menu because it is a team game for TL, and you just had to wait for all the reinforcements to get there.
Yeah, and this was again, kind of the game-breaking moment, I think. TL had done a wonderful job into the early game, and it set themselves up really beautifully for this as they punished Suning overextending and overcommitting to engagements so many times. The big factor being tactical also moved. You can see on the minimap, Huang Feng is still in that bottom lane, and then opens up with this Jhin and just goes wild.
And this is the best Jhin skin to do it, by the way. Just throw out those Spider-Man arms and just rain hell on the back line. Oh, you love to see it. 1, 2, 3, 4, finish. That was nasty. We've seen Jhin ult be mostly useless for this entire tournament, so watching a Jhin ult like that is a beautiful thing to see. I'm actually blown away by this game. I saw that level 1 TL1, I was like, ooh, this is a good start. I then saw the transition into the mid game, and I was like, oh, whoa, who is this team? Team Liquid, absolutely nuts in that one. So, yeah, ready to see how it's going to work out for them in the rest of the day.
It was only a matter of time. They just needed to catch up and learn, and TL have shown that they have learned so much from these games as they continue to show us their ceiling.
Yeah. And of course, Team Liquid, they're still in the fight for quarterfinals, and we're going to give you a breakdown of their win with the Zale after this. Don't go anywhere. The Miracle Run's going to keep going in our